It probably would have been in clothing, the kids, for the boys and the girls. I helped them with whatever they wanted in 4-H, in their clothing and in all of it. So, and we did have leaders too, but then a lot of times they'd call me and I'd help them. But I was their adult leader, I mean, in the whole thing, not just one. I don't remember, I still have it hanging in my room, I could tell you. And I've got the whole thing, and it's all framed. But the date, I don't know the date.
But with Louise, and I don't know how much she talked about, her main thing was the flowers. And anytime that the children needed her help with the flowers, that's where she was. And she worked really hard to make the children understand what they were really doing. They weren't just picking a flower and bringing it, but she would supply vases or whatever they needed to bring them into even preschool or the little ones and the big ones. And she worked at that until she quit working, actually.
I mean, naturally, these newspapers are from my family, and so therefore I was showing them to Fred because he was our neighbor at the time.
Well, we had a scrapbook too, but it broke.
Oh, I bet it did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
69 cents a pound.
Yes.
Yeah, and I got, what was it, 52 for my
For
and we
yours.
thought it was a godsend.
Oh, yes.
It wasn't much at all. So,
And here's, what do you have here?
oh, these are my cabs. This is my first year, I think, 44. And this is 45. And I don't think my last one in 48 was in there. This is Eldon, of course. This is my last one in 48, and that was the champion, just Shorthorn. I wasn't the champion of the whole thing.
Well, you were champion Shorthorn.
Yeah, right. Yes. I was, I joined in 44. Fred, you're how many years? You're about 4 years younger than I, right?
Yeah. All I remember is the year that I joined, I really wasn't quite legal, but they put me in.
And that was probably when I was ending up mine.
It could be.
Yeah,
Could
right.
be. And then I stayed as long as they'd allow me to stay.
Yeah. Well, I think my senior year in high school, that was it. Yeah.
What were some of the highlights?
Oh, my. You know, you think about your projects, and naturally I took cooking and sewing, and I learned a lot in sewing because we had, do you remember Margaret Mock?
Oh, yes.
She was the extension lady, and I learned tailoring from her, made suits, and I continued to sew for my girls. You know,
Doing a
forever.
lot of photography and I took a lot of pictures 2 years ago. I have a blue ribbon on my photography, which is really hard to get in photography because there's so much. This is a picture I took of we had a black hen, chicken hen, who talked to me, and I got her picture doing that, and it was really funny. So it was a champion picture. But for a simple thing like that, it's worthwhile when you go to the fair.
The last grand champion steer I had would be at the bottom of the class today.
There you go. Exactly.
They liked them short and squat.
Yep, yep.
And today they went to the extreme the other way, but they finally found a happy medium.
Yeah, I think that's right. They were just different.
But things have immensely changed
Yeah, they
in
said,
types and style.
yeah, I think that's right.
Now, Fred, you've worked with cattle your whole life. How did your 4-H experience help prepare you to be a cattleman as a business?
I don't know, it helped me decide what I wanted to do, for one thing. I was on the Saline County judging team
You know, that's another thing
With-
we enjoyed.
with,
CK Rec.
with Doris's brother Eldon. I remember winning the state contests once or twice, and there were usually like 600 and some contestants, which I was very lucky.
You know, we were kind of lucky living close to CK Ranch.
Exactly.
Remember, we used to go up there and they would have those contests and we would learn how to judge.
And also, they sold 4-H calves.
Yes, back
With,
there's a
if you
lot of,
fed Gooch's feed,
yes.
and I
you're right.
did buy a calf off points one year, a shorthorn steer. Cheryl asked me if I had any highlights, and that's the first thing that come to my mind, judging chickens. So, it was an interesting time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
What did you two feel like you learned about leadership, or you too, Lois? Nowadays, that's one of the things we try to emphasize in 4-H is leadership and citizenship. And I just wonder if you
And you
feel
know,
any
you
strong
just
things
feel like
about memories about that.
you have a step ahead of a lot of other kids that don't belong to 4-H, just learning parliamentary procedure and how to run a meeting. And really, it helps you, whatever organization you're in, you have some idea about parliamentary procedure and stuff. And that's one thing, and then, of course, it was well organized, and then we had those record books, you know, which we didn't like so good, but I guess it taught us something to keep records. Yeah, that's right.
I think you can tell probably 99% of the people who get up to speak, adults, have been in 4-H.
It does help.
And know that they can speak without worrying what people are gonna think. They know what to say and how to say it. And I would think that maybe not 90%, but a lot of percent comes from having to be in front of your people who are the same age as you and take giggles and whatever the other 4-H people do, and go ahead and make your speech and not pay any attention to the kids that are sitting back behind you, especially music groups or who involve more, but even a single person. They have to learn to ignore the people that are listening and say what they have to say, and it shows the rest of their lives, I believe.
And then, I mean, you give talks, you give demonstrations.
That's right.
And
That's part
you
of it.
learn how to do things like that and what they want because you're judged.
That's right.
And, yeah, it is a helpful thing all throughout life. It really is.